Glad you guys are here. Going to an exciting sales meeting today. Today we have a special privilege. We're going to be joined by our Bold coach. He's going to be Skyped in here in just a little bit. We'll get a chance to ask him some questions so you guys can see what Bold's all about. And we appreciate you being here. We do have some training coming up. Today, Ignite, Find and Show Homes with July Hong. Tomorrow, if you are interested, and I think most of you are, in Zip Forms 101 and how to use that, Allison Fulbright will be doing a class on that. It's sponsored by Property ID, so the good news is there is food is provided. Tomorrow, July 17th, Ignite. We are Ignite series, which you'll see continuously through here, Make and Receive Offers with Veronica. Friday, another Ignite. It's with Hector Martinez. Hector Martinez closed over 70 transactions last year. This is someone when he talks you want to listen to. What's that? Just productivity. Monday. And then we brought back System 7 workshop. I know about 24 of you attended that 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and I got some pretty good results from it. The cool thing about it is it's a free training. He's going to come in and he's going to also provide lunch. So if you want to check that out. And then join Kirsten for Lunch and Learn. System 7 workshop? No, the food. No, the lunch. System 7 workshop. I've heard System 7 workshop, and it's basically tips and strategies that you can use to further your business and to get leads. Everything from Facebook to online marketing to mailers. It's a whole system that they do, and I know a couple of our agents have done that. Tuesday the 22nd, Lunch and Learn Guide to Navigating My KW, which I know I needed that class because there's a lot on there. And that's also a Lunch and Learn with Kirsten. 3 lunches? Wow.
I'm not providing lunch.
You bring your lunch. No, there'll be food there, right? All right. Market update. We'll go through this relatively quickly. Not a lot of changes. June, same average dollars per square foot in the month of June. These are properties that closed. I did a little bit of a breakdown on this, and you can see it and absorb it the way you'd like to. In this price range, 50% of homes are selling each month. That makes sense, right? 50% of homes are selling in this price range each month. 40% in that price range, and then it drops down to 20% approximately.
Those are good steps.
If you flip to the next one, when we get to 300,000 and up,
Oh my.
12% here, approximately, 10%, 10%, and 10%. So, what does that mean if you're in a price range where 10% of the homes are selling, so 1 out of every 10 homes is selling. So, on average, if you had 10 homes on the market in that price range, over the course of 10 months, they would sell. So the ones that are going to sell in the first 3 months are the ones that have the best value, price attractively. So we have to be aware of the numbers. Not a lot of changes from last month. We do have more for sale on the market. That's the blue line up there. We have less new listings coming on the market. That's the green line. So less new listings coming on the market in the month of June than in May. As far as sold and pended, right about the same. You can see the purple line and the red line very close to being the same as they were in May. Inventory, we're at 3.2 months. We were at 3.2 months in April, went down in May. You guys probably felt that, just it was a little surge of activity, a big surge of activity. Now back up to 3.2, which is still very much of an active market. Average median sold price stayed at 174. You can see here from a year ago, we were at 159, dropped down to 155, 174, which is a pretty decent increase in the last year. This is taken from the MLS countywide single family homes sold, added them up, divided by the number of solds. Single family homes. Average days on market stayed about the same, 63. And market share. Market share, this is total units in the month of June. You can see Keller Williams there, number 1 in Kings County. For volume, on the next one, clearly number 1 in Kings County. Moving over to Orange Bell, which is mostly the Porterville area. Keller Williams #1. This is year-to-date total units and volume, barely #1. It's a good day, close race. Close race. For TCMLS, this is market share for this office, 18% market share in the TCMLS. And of the listings out there, we have 16%. I think that's the next slide. 16%. All right. Bold. And I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that you get to hear Jason. Jason's phenomenal. He was our Bold coach last year. Bold starts August 13th. It's free that first day. A few of you have not signed up yet for that, so make sure you do it. When Brittany sends out the link that has the training calendar or the trainings for the day or for the week, at the bottom there's a link, very easy. Click on that. It's totally free that first day, and then you can decide if you want to continue on. We're going to go ahead and bring in Jason Bosch, and Jason is going to talk to you guys and let you know a little bit about Bold. If you have a burning question, just write that down.
Hello.
Jason, how are you? Welcome.
Hey, how's it going, Kevin? Group?
It's going very good. We're glad to have you. Welcome.
Can you guys see me okay?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All right, hang on. I think we have some noise in the background.
Somebody have music on.
All right.
That's a stage right up there.
Hello.
Hello. I can hear you now, Jason.
All right. How's it going, everyone?
Good.
Jason, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jason. Tell us about.
All right. So, everyone, I just wanted to say hello and introduce myself. My name's Jason Bosch, and I'm calling you or Skyping you, seeing you from Southern California, Rancho Cucamonga, if you know where that is. And the reason we set up this call is we had decided about the fact that your group decided to bring back the Bold program in just about a month. And I got to tell you, not only am I excited because for some of you it's a chance for me to see you again, since I was personally there 1 year ago, and above that, for those of you that we saw each other and for the new group, it's just an exciting time of year to get through Bold. If you don't already realize that, you know, we end the year, the calendar year in real estate right at about October 15th. If you calculate, it takes anywhere from 30 to 45 days, and you give those last 2 weeks kind of a little bit of a buffer time, if you will. The calendar year for us pretty much ends there at the end of October. And so beginning Bold in August and ending in October, as this program will do, for me, is just the best time of year to do it. We can answer some questions if you'd like. I've got a couple of things I wanted to go over with you. First and foremost, in regards to what Bold is, what it's not. I imagine there's some of you in the room that have likely joined the group in the last year since we last had Bold. Bold is an acronym. It's a class. It's a boot camp. It's a 7-week boot camp that takes place 1 day a week for 7 weeks. It stands for Business Objective, a Life by Design. And so while it's a business course specific to real estate, you'll notice the name Life by Design. We're going over in the 7 weeks everything that we have seen over our years of study, and the author of the program is Diana Kokoska, who herself sold over 4,000 homes in her career. Everything that we have seen that top producers that sell over 100 homes a year do. The things that they've done well, some of the pitfalls that they've avoided, and we're talking about your health, your relationships, your business, your wealth, all the different things that in this business are required for you to break through and make it to that next level, if you will. I'm under the impression that you there in your seat are looking to do more business. Am I right? If I am, say yes.
Yes.
And so this is an opportunity to do that. We work together. Think of a program that allows you to be coached once a week. It'll be every Wednesday for 7 weeks. It's actually more than that because we're going to skip 2 weeks in between. So we'll be together for a 9-week period. Once a week, every Wednesday from 8:30 to 3:30. We're actually doing something now that we weren't doing at the same level last year, is that for 45 minutes before 8:30, for those that want to start early bird, we do an early bird coaching session. In addition to that, I'm even throwing in, because I'm on a big kick of working out now, so for those of you that want to join me, for 3 of the sessions, I'm going to do a little boot camp for our health, and we're going to work out together. We're looking at the whole picture, the whole thing of what it takes to really live a life by design. Now, let me give you some numbers, because I know some of that may sound a little abstract, and some of you in the room may be, well, I don't know what that really means. Here's what it means as far as results. We've been doing this program for a little over 4 years. I personally have been doing it for almost 3 years. This will be my 29th and my 30th Bold Room. In that time, in the 4.5 years that Bold has been around, our average graduate in 7 weeks, that means they went through the whole program, writes 14.5 contracts in that period. I'll say it again, 14.5. That means they either take or write offers for or put pending in a 7-week period, 14.5 transactions. The last time you and I did this in Visalia, this time last year, your group did 18.5 per person in the room, and it wasn't a small room. There were 70 people there. So I just say that to kind of qualify what it is that we mean by life by design, and it's more than just, reading books and meditating and that kind of stuff. We do get through some of that mental dialogue, and yet we really get into what it takes to create your business abundantly and going beyond the next level. We start, where's my date? We start Wednesday, August 13th. So if my calendar is right, that's just under a month away. We'll be there at the local Cafe 210 right there in Visalia, same place that we were at last year. Great venue. We'll start that morning at 8:30 a.m. The first class is absolutely free, so you don't have to make a financial commitment. All I need you to do is please register for it so that we know that you're coming and we have enough material. And yet I'll tell you, if you already know that you need a program like this, and accountability is what you're looking for, I would go ahead and register for the whole thing right now. Something magical happens when we commit to something. Recently I went on a vacation. I took my family to the Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas. And when that vacation became real, some of you will relate to this. When I clicked on that button that said, warning, clicking here, there's no refund. You know that? And then I clicked it, and the minute I clicked it, in my mind, I knew that we were going. And I told my kids that we were going, and it wasn't a maybe. It was, we were going. We're paid for it. See, what happens is, when you commit, you show up differently. And for some of us, it's going to start right there, because we don't know, or let me say it this way, we've forgotten what commitment looks like. So if you already know that this is what you need, I'd encourage you to go ahead and register for the full event. It does cost $799 for all 7 classes, and I've got a payment plan that you can pay half of it and then pay equal payments during the class. And if money's an issue and we need to talk about it, please don't let that get in the way of your joining. That would actually be, you'd need to go to the class more than others likely because of that. We've got 4 weeks. I would take this time to ramp up. It's the summer season. In California, that normally means for us the home buying season. And I'm excited. I know that you guys have got your meeting and it's a Thursday afternoon, so I don't want to take too much more of your time. Those were some things about me, why I'm excited about it. I hope that you are as well. Is there any questions that I can answer while we're here together that maybe you have lingering that we may want to talk about? There I see you guys.
Jason, what is unique about Bold versus other training classes, and why they should attend?
Yeah, well, for me, and I've been in this business, guys, look, I just had a birthday. I'm 39 years old. I started this business at 17. It's all I know. One of the fortunate things that happened to me early on was that I got involved with a coach. The owner of my company, I started as a lender, was involved with a coaching organization, and he put me in it. He just forced me in, like taking me to the gym and putting me in with a trainer. I had no other option. So I learned early on what the habits were of top producers. What we do in Bold and why it's different for me is the following. You ever been to a class and it's really, really good and the speaker's dynamic and he's funny and you like it and you like him and everything is good and you're going to put everything to work, and then you get to the office and you go back to business and you put the manual on the shelf. And then 2 or 3 days later, oh yeah, I got to get that stuff. I'm just busy. Let me go. And then what happens is a week or 2 later, the manual with all the great information is still on the shelf. Yes or yes?
Yes.
The difference with Bold is that it's a class that's spread out over time. So it forces you to do it. And here's the thing. We know that to perform in anything, business, sales, athletics, anything, there's going to be times that you don't want to do it. Heck, it's easy when you want to do it. How about the mornings that you don't? That you don't want to go to do it, that you'd rather just go hang out at Starbucks. See, we know that the habits of top producers are doing the activities they need to do even on the days that they don't want to do it. So for me, that's what makes it the most powerful. The material is the material, and it's bar none the best thing we've got out there, certainly from Keller Williams' perspective. The spaced out timing of it is what really, really, really makes it effective, Kevin.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions before we let Jason go? We're good.
Hey, I look forward to seeing all of you. If you would, please register for the event. Spend the day with us from 8:30 to 3:30, that first day, that free event. I promise you, it's not going to be a hard sale. I'm not going to be doing this sign up, sign up, sign up. Whether you do or not, you're going to get value out of that day. And if you don't, we stay friends. And if you do, then we'll see each other an additional 6 weeks on top of that. Regardless, I look forward to seeing you guys that Wednesday, August 13th.
Awesome.
See you guys. Have a great day.
Very good. And we're, in addition to what we did today, next week we're going to have a Bold panel. So we'll have 3 or 4 agents that have been to Bold that will be up here talking about their experience. And if you're not convinced yet, hopefully after you hear them, you will be. Main Street Escrow, did you know we have now this week closed over 500 transactions, or 500 escrows from Main Street Escrow. A milestone for a company that you've supported and made happen. So I thank you very much for that. Mega Escrows, Mega Camp, we'll talk more about that as we get closer. It's coming up in September. Just a reminder, you can be entered into a drawing by opening escrow with Main Street Escrow for Mega Camp, all expenses paid, and that is September 17th through the 19th. All right. Just because I know you guys are curious, we've had 121 escrows open since May 16th. That's approximately 2 months, which is we're averaging about 60 a month. So congratulations to you. And this was amazing. This is a record for a week, 19 open escrows in 1 week. So congratulations and good job. And all that leads to profit share for the agents. So congratulations. Our broker, excuse me, I'm going to jump around a second. Country Club Mortgage, our MSA. We want to give them a chance to say a couple words. Leo, are you doing that today, or?
Well, kind of, sort of. Barbara Rosito couldn't make it today. She had a prior engagement, so she said, Leo, please go up there and do my telephone for me. I don't have anything to say except I've got a new great baby granddaughter born. Baby girl, 7 pounds, 11 ounces, Serenity, and she's doing fine. That's number 11 grandchild for me.
Oh, wow.
I have 11 grandchildren now. Anyway, other than that, I have nothing to say.
What are the rates approximately today, Leo?
The rates are still in the low 4%. FHA is covering between 4 and 4.25% right now at par. Conventional rates are still somewhere in the upper 4%, 4.5% to 5%, just depending on what the FICO score is and what the loan to value is. So, for those of you looking at either of those, VA is still running neck and neck with FHA, so that's 4.25%. I've got a VA loan I just took the other day, and we locked them in for 4.25%, so at par. So, thank you very much for your
I have a
business.
quick question.
Christy.
for you. I just ran into a situation where they're ordering we got a completed appraisal. Evidently, they're switching programs or investors, and they ordered another appraisal. Are
What type of-
appraisals not transferable? It's conventional, both conventional.
It depends. It depends on who the investor is. If the investor, typically, if it's going conventional, should be no problem to just switch it over. I don't know who the lender is,
It's
but
out of area.
it's not
I'm
us.
just not sure what's going on, so I just know so the rules, that's what they're telling me, the rules have changed. So I just,
Pretty unusual. I mean, would you like to
Has
comment
anybody
on
else heard
that?
that?
I've never heard of that. I mean, going
Yeah,
from
I think
VA to
it's-
FHA or VA to, or FHA to conventional, yeah. It could
And
be.
it's definitely conventional, it's a higher one.
That's a weird one.
I just didn't know if anybody else has run across that.
Well, Leo, we appreciate you being here, and since Christy had the question, we'll segue into what would normally be our broker 60 seconds. Our broker is in Austin, Texas, Troy Guy, so I'm going to do the broker 60 seconds, and I'm going to talk about the contract. And this is real short, but you should know that the contract is an active contract. See how they're moving along, running? Good job, Kirsten. What I mean by that is that the time periods in a contract, I know most of you probably know this, but the time periods in a contract don't automatically remove contingencies. So if you have 17 days for a buyer to perform any inspections and contingencies and review any applicable reports, that doesn't just automatically drop off. So if you're on day 20, if there have not been any signatures done, that contingency is still in effect. It can also be extended if the seller has not provided the reports required in the first 7 days. So, representing a seller, if it's an active contract, how do we get the buyer to remove their contingencies?
Notice to perform.
Notice the buyer to perform in BP, right? So that's a form in your zip forms. Notice the buyer form. Thank you, Wayne. We send that to them, and then the buyer's response to that would be on the contingency removal form, exactly, or the applicable action that they need to take in that contract. And that is an active contract. So, does anyone have any questions about that?
So even though it states it in the purchase agreement that they have 17 days and all the rest of that, that's not enough to actually make that stick?
Think about it
You
this
have to have
way.
the
It is
additional-
17 days. It doesn't just drop off. It doesn't just disappear. The action is what Wayne said. The listing agent would need to send a notice of buyer to perform to the buyer's agent. The buyer's agent would then need to get their buyer to sign the contingency removal. If that doesn't happen within 2 days, typically per the contract, then the seller is in a legal position that they could cancel escrow.
Oh, really? Oh.
At the close of escrow, we're 30-day escrow, we're on day 33, a seller, true or false, a seller can just simply cancel escrow right now.
Yes.
They must give a notice of buyer to perform to close escrow, or rather send a demand to close escrow would be the appropriate form. You could probably do either, but a demand to close escrow. So once that time period, you are now in a position where you can send a notice to buyer to perform or a demand to close escrow. If they don't perform, if they don't close escrow, now are you in a legal position where you can cancel escrow? Yes, correct. All right. See, I tried to do the broker 60 seconds. I cut my hair real short like Troy. I even wore a semi-purple shirt like Troy would wear. I put on shoes that made me a little taller.
But Kevin, can you do the
Go fight,
woo?
sell text.
What's that?
Go fight, sell.
Go fight, sell. All right, very good.
We're all covered here.
Culture Minute. Holla, who's doing our Culture Minute today?
Jerry's gonna stand
Oh,
up and
come
do
on
our
up. Let's give her a hand. Bring her up.
As you can tell, being in front of the group's not my thing. But anyway, my culture minute today is number 3, being the best co-op agent possible and always respecting other agents. And basically, the most important thing you do in real estate is to is the relationships that you form with other people. And without those relationships, it's really hard to be successful. And sometimes you're working with the worst agent in the business and they're doing a really poor job, but you want to continue to be a professional and to act professionally. And at the end, if you go to the bank, it's always a good escrow. So just remember.
Very good. Thank you. Speaking of the active contract, on page 5 of your purchase contract toward the top where it talks about time removals, it says any removal of contingencies or cancellation under this paragraph by either buyer or seller must be exercised in good faith and in writing. So if you needed to refer to that, if you're working with an agent along these lines of what Jerry just said, that isn't aware of that it is an active contract, and you're on day 19 and they say, well, we're canceling because your contingency, your time period is up, blah, blah, blah. And you say, well, no, actually you would need to send me a notice of buyer perform, and we have 2 days to remove that contingency, and if we don't, then you could cancel. Okay, good stuff. Thursday, tomorrow at the Vintage Press. That will be at
4:30.
4:30. Get it started early, huh? It's 5:30 in Arizona or somewhere. So that's tomorrow. And that takes us to lesson learned. Last week we started this lesson learned, and hopefully somebody has something that, this is just a category for us to share what we know. I mean, if we had all our brains into one brain, it would be a super agent. So something that you learned out there, something that you recognize a mistake and you want to share it with the rest of the group.
I want to
Christy.
share, this is an internal thing, but I went to Allison's dot loop class again. Because I have a dot loop, but you know, you can split documents in dot loop now internally, very easy to do. And also on your, she goes, I don't know who's going to be teaching it now, but they go over how you can get your notifications. So if you're not getting your notifications on your file when your DA is here, or your file has been returned because it's missing an item and you don't realize that until the day the escrow closed. So just a reminder, dot loop, go to the class. You always learn something new. I mean, and they're changing dot loop too consistently. So I thought that was interesting.
Thank you, Christy. Yes.
If a listing says it's sewer, it's not necessarily true. And so that happened, and it happens a lot with foreclosures, because there's no owner to say, oh yeah, well, I'm not on sewer, I'm septic, and then that transfers over. So I had an escrow that closed last week, and the neighbor mentioned to my buyer, well, I don't think that's on sewer. Oh, really? Called the city of Visalia. They didn't get back to me until after the escrow closed. So I'm having a septic tank pumped on Wednesday.
So if in doubt, the solution would be to contact the,
City of Visalia, City of Tulare. I mean, you can't assume it. And I corrected another agent in Tulare, it wasn't Tulare agent, it was a Hanford, because there's a home that, on that particular street, many times it is septic.
Right.
And so she changed it, but you just don't know unless you contact the city. You can't assume on that.
if in doubt, contact the city and
Right,
ask them.
because there's a lot of pockets in
I agree. Thank you, Candace. Any other lessons learned? Yeah, Jerry.
One thing back to your 17-day contingency removal, it's really embarrassing when your client gets upset and says, okay, we're gonna keep the deposit now because they haven't performed. Unless that is signed or you have, can show that you've given the notice to perform, and they fail to give that, you cannot get that deposit. And it's really hard for the sellers to swallow that pill when they learn that you didn't do your job and now they can't get their deposit.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
Jerry
when-
said, the seller's paying us thousands of dollars in most cases to represent their best interests, so we need to make sure that we're representing their interests.
Absolutely.
Well said.
Well said. Any other lesson learned? I have a question. I have a lesson I would like to learn. If you have a home that you are selling and it is in a semi-rural area and there's a community well, might not have to be rural area, but it's not city water, as a community well, how would you go about getting the a well inspection? Or would you provide a well inspection? Does anyone have that experience?
It's not, sometimes it's not required. We had one in an old county area. And yeah, I kind of prepped the lender. I don't know what you're gonna ask for, it's community well. And I didn't know what the association actually had on hand. Like, I would think they would be under some kind of requirement, since it's a community well, to have certain inspections done on timely. And yeah, they didn't require anything.
Nothing on that one.
Yeah, the state agencies are now responsible for inspecting those types of systems. Used to be Tulare County Environmental Health.
Okay.
But the state agency now does do that. So you can always find out, get information from the county, because they're under the state.
Those state agencies have to inform HUD as well, so it affects the loan as far as, for example, HUD has on their website, they have a list of approved community wells throughout California. So it has to be reported by the state agency who does the potability test on an annual basis, and that has to be reported to HUD. HUD in turn puts it on their website so that we know as a lender whether or not it's safe water or not.
Okay. Good
Yeah,
to
but I
know.
would definitely say let your lender know ahead of time if we have that, so that, because I don't know if all lenders or investors treat them the same.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Very good. Any other, one last lesson learned before we move on? Okay. Buckets. Do we have any buckets to fill? Connie?
Oh my gosh, Leo, you got an appraisal done before I even got disclosures from my listing agent. Done, done, done. It was awesome. And I just want to say thank you, Country Club Mortgage. I think it was like 10 days by the time you ordered it, done, made value, and I'm still waiting for disclosures from the listing agent, which I did do a seller to perform.
Nice. Danny?
I want to fill the buckets of all of the teachers that have taken time, all of the agents who have taken their time to teach all of the different classes, because I have learned so much, and as you know, I'm new to real estate, but it's been so helpful for my first 2 transactions, so thank you all for taking that time to teach us.
And I have to admit, she's in deep into 2 transactions. One's ready to close in a week, and she's hardly asking me any questions. And I'm just like, and Danny, how do y'all know all this? And granted, she did go to most every training that the Keller Williams had to offer, and thank you very much for all that you've done there. Yeah, Wayne.
I wanted to fill the bucket of that new vendor that made a presentation last sales meeting, JK Environmental. I had occasion to use them on a large cleanup job that I had, and they did, not only did they do an outstanding job, they gave me photographs of what they were going to do. They did it for half of the price of the other estimate that I had, and again, they did a very good job. So
Nice.
I fully endorse them.
JK Environmental was here last week. It's very good. Any other success stories, buyers' wants and needs? or buckets? Yes,
I
Vanessa.
have something not real estate related. Jessica, or Miriam, is going to be doing a leukemia run, and she's too chicken to stand up and tell you guys about it. So I told her, I'm doing it for you. Now she has cards, and Jess, how much are you needing to tell them about it?
Okay. I'm doing a half marathon on October 19th. It is in honor of my father, who passed away from colon cancer. It benefits, all the proceeds benefit Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and I have to raise $2,000. Normally people will raise $2,500, but I'm a fundraising mentor this year, so I get a discount. Right now I have 900 raised. I'm doing candy apples. I'm selling all that. I'm getting involved with Black Bear Diner. I'm taking donations to a big yard sale, and I'm planning a big event in September. So come see me if you'd like to donate. And the best part for realtors is it's tax deductible. So I'd appreciate the support. Thanks so much.
And she has cards if you guys are interested.
All the info.
Any other success stories, buyers, wants, and needs? Fill the buckets, Jerry.
I just want to say, my listing in Cobblestone, we reduced the price to $655 this week. We desperately need to sell that. We purchased another home and we have to get that closed. And then also my listing in Tulare, 449 Jackson, he completely painted the outside, so it looks really nice. If you saw it when it was bright yellow, it's now really nice to beige and white. And we're at 249 and we desperately need to sell that too.
How many square feet? How many square feet?
It's 18 plus.
Wayne.
I have a large price reduction on the listing I had on 10 acres on Road 144 north of town. It's a 3,000 foot home plus a guest home, pool on 10 acres, and it's reduced from $627,500 to $599,900. Seller's really motivated to move it. She needs to sell it.
Very good.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else? All right, you guys have an awesome day and go buy sell.